Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I will call the Budget, Finance, and Investment Committee to order. We have minutes from our June 14th meeting.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Schaefer.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner P. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries. Okay, we do have some general fund budget amendments to deal with tonight, starting with the Circuit Court Clerk, Mrs. Bowling.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
I have to move a couple of things right from legal services, that's already in our budget. Our Lectriver, that's the rotating file that holds all of our files, that's broken. The vendor wanted us to give us a used part, but that was actually from the Juvenile Justice Center in Nashville, which was underwater. So I opted for a new part. So that's $2,500 for parts and labor. And then the other is to fill out the maintenance agreement with MTR. It's the final payment with that vendor for our copiers. But it's an internal transfer.
Motion approved.
Commissioner Jordan.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Sandlin. Any discussion? Shall we do some voice votes, gentlemen?
Sure.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That motion carries. Thank you.
Works real well when everybody's agreeable.
She gets a notion when we're not.
You know what? I think I can pick up on that pretty quickly. Emergency management, Mrs. Nolan.
This is to recognize $9,754 of the Homeland Security 2010 grant and to appropriate that for other equipment.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Sandlin, seconded by Commissioner P.
Question. Can that only be used for equipment? Where I'm headed with that is on that fire station. Can any of this Homeland Security money be used for capital?
No, sir. That Homeland Security money is put in pretty specific categories of equipment that's already been identified by that Homeland Security Committee, et cetera. So, no, you cannot.
Well, I noticed it hadn't been spent for 2 years now, so that's why I was asking.
No, you can't make any of those changes.
All right.
Some of that, we don't get it all right when we
haven't
approve
really
it.
started spending the 2010 money yet specifically. We have finished all of the 2008 money.
I'm still trying. So.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That motion carries. We have two budget amendments from Pet Adoption and Welfare Services. Mr. Gregory. Mr. Gregory, I am going to separate your two out, and let's deal with the first one, completing the space at your facility.
Yes, the first one we're asking for money out of our donation line item to be able to complete the space for our veterinarian. We had budgeted $65,000 that had been carried over for 2 or 3 years, not really knowing what it would cost. The bids came in. I think if we have to do some extra work, it's going to be around $121,000. So we're asking for the $60,000 out of our donation line to add to that so that we can get this space completed.
And this finished the project then as far as?
Yes, it goes out their surgical suite, yes.
Yeah, so moved.
Commissioner Sandlin, thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Jordan. Commissioner P.
Does that also pay for all the equipment that you'll need?
There was also $50,000 that had been budgeted for the last 2 or 3 years to go with the 65 for the building, and that money was already in the budget. So, and that money was out of the donation line item as well.
And that's enough to cover what we need there?
We've already issued the purchase orders.
You've got autoclaves and surgical equipment covered?
All the purchase orders have been issued. The equipment's not been in yet. We really don't have a place to put it, but all the purchase orders are issued and those will be going out.
All right.
And so in that contributions to PAWS, you have almost 118,000 in it right now.
Well, minus the 50,000 for the equipment off of that, so we have about 75,000. Once we take out this other 60, it's going to leave us about 15,000. Yes, sir.
And it's all donations from one place or another. What I'm getting at,
A lot of individuals just come in and put money in the jar, and so that gets turned in and just.
It's not grants or anything that you can get or something.
Ooh.
Yeah. I had your money, I would.
It speaks well for the public that they would give us those type of
He's
funds.
a good one, put some.
Did the bids on this, from reading the purchasing minutes, came in a little higher than expected also?
It's hard to say. We don't know. We only had one bid. And this is, sort of remedial kind of work. So, I don't know we didn't know really what to expect. It's a little bit more maybe than we expected, but we didn't have any reason to believe what it should be, to be honest with you. We're happy that it wasn't any
Just
more than
wondering
that.
if between this and the fire station, if bids aren't starting to creep up a little bit.
Well,
Number of
this
players
is-
out there diminishing and,
Well, this is a little bit of a messy job, I mean, compared to, just a clean, brand-new job. And this particular company was the firm that did the work, when y'all had this additional work done toward the tail end of that project where you poured concrete and did some more feet out. He did that work initially, so he's familiar with the project. He did that several years ago when y'all did some extra work there after the actual construction of the whole building.
Commissioner P?
How are we advertising the bids on our projects now?
Well, of course, they're all publicly advertised in the paper. And when
In which paper, the Post?
Yes.
I
And when we
suggest
have-
we might need to expand that at least on this for the number of bids we're getting in. Only one on this and 3 on that, fire department.
And typically, they're also posted at public places. They're not public places, they're private places that typically bids are placed, like the Dodge Room and these other kinds of rooms. So they're there, and people that subscribe to those services know about projects.
Well, in the past, we had a list of people that typically bid, and we would send letters to those people. Are we still doing that?
I don't believe we are.
That might be something we might want to go back at, look at some of these guys that have bid in the past, because it concerns me on, getting these high bids with the way construction's down right now. Something's not right
I
here.
don't know about
I think the school system does that on the big projects, but I'm not
But
sure.
see, your architect would typically place those plans in these rooms I'm talking about, and all of your typical contractors subscribe to that service, so they get notification of all those things that are being.
I would suggest sending it to the Rutherford County Home Builders Association for a minimum, and a lot of those people have contacts all around. So that would be a good place to start.
You send letters to individual contractors, wouldn't, some of the other contractors might have something to say because you're sending some to some of them you wouldn't to others?
They might, but I wouldn't be overly concerned about that. We typically, if we have a list of, not just on contractors, but any of the bidders where we're taking bids, Vicki calls as many people as we can to encourage them to bid, even though sometimes we don't have a complete list, but we do try to do that, just to encourage anybody that wants to bid to bid.
Gentlemen, I'm going to ask for a roll call vote on this, please. Call the roll.
Commissioner Baum,
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan, Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P,
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin,
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer,
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. Mr. Gregory, you have another budget amendment?
Yes, ma'am. The next budget amendment is to move more money into our supervisor line item and to our overpay line item. Last month when I was here, we had to do this same amendment. We had a supervisor that had resigned at that point, and then also received a resignation from the other supervisor. They're going to be both effective the same day next Friday, so it's going to be a little bit of a trying time. I'm new, and then losing some of the people that I really look to for guidance on some things. So please bear with me, but we're going to make it through it.
Motion approved.
Second.
Commissioner Jordan, seconded by Commissioner P. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that motion carries.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Unemployment insurance, Mrs. Nolan.
This is to provide sufficient funds for unemployment compensation in the election and pause, and taking it from the unemployment that we've got in the sheriff. We think there are sufficient funds there to cover these other two.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Sandlin, seconded by Commissioner P.
And like we just talked about, him losing 2 right there, so they can come in and get, even though they've
Well,
quit.
they're resigning.
They're resigning.
Yeah, they will not.
So they won't be able to receive?
No.
Okay, only if we let them go, then they can receive. and we're still
And
looking into that.
Supposedly, only if we let them go for lack of work. If we let them go for cause, we're not supposed to be able to be drawn against. But,
Right, right.
we're not winning all of those appeals.
And the other thing is they've lengthened unemployment compensation of time, haven't they?
Several times.
I mean, you get on it, you can milk it for a long time.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That motion carries. Hotel motel tax, Stones River Greenway, and Chamber of Commerce.
We are changing our estimate, increasing our estimate on the hotel motel tax by $65,000, and then the related, there are expenses that's associated with that revenue, 10% for the Stones River Greenway and 30% for the Chamber of Commerce. So we are asking to increase those, with the difference going to unassigned fund balance of $39,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner P., seconded by Commissioner Schaefer. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That motion carries. We have a miscellaneous budget amendment.
This amendment is to provide funding for a consultant to develop the specifications that'll be used in the RFP process for the communication consoles. And this is all within the miscellaneous function. $12,000 from liability insurance into the consultant's line.
And if you will consider, when we do the motion,
What?
Oh, okay, yeah.
to include in your motion permission for the mayor to enter into a contract.
Maybe they need me to give a little bit of a
Please.
update on the background of this if you don't.
Well, I'm just curious why it's coming to your department instead of the sheriff or
Well-
ambulance or EMA.
Just to expedite this. We've had an ongoing discussion for really several months now with the sheriff's office about the replacement of their dispatch consoles, et cetera. And we've had this discussion ongoing with the 911 board and with EMS, et cetera. So the 911 board funded the first piece of this. In other words, they have already spent about $20,000 with the same company to sort of get us all to a point of where we need to go and agree to where we need to go with respect to what type of equipment we need to put in for the long term. Meaning we want to put in something that is compatible or will be compatible at some point when we have to do the same thing with EMS, and maybe even when 911 even upgrades their own equipment. So this has led us in a direction of being able to properly identify the structure of a pretty sophisticated set of equipment and communications, et cetera, that we are going to go forward with. And the sheriff has now reappeared, so you can support me on this, Sheriff, if you would. But in any event, they finished that piece. In the sheriff's office and EMS and 911, we've all sort of agreed on the concept of where we need to go. But it's so highly sophisticated and technical, we don't really think that we are properly equipped to write the specifications for an RFQ. And since this group is the one that's already done this substantial amount of work for us, we want to use them to write the specs and take an RFQ on this. And then when we get that, then we'll actually make a selection through their assistance. The sheriff and all of us that have been at the 911 board, they have already approved a grant of $215,000, excuse me, to pay for the hardware that hopefully we will be able to buy it. We don't know if it's going to come in more or less, but it's in the neighborhood. So this has been a painful journey, but an important journey to put the right set of equipment in there that will function properly and give us the flexibility to in the future have compatibility and backup and redundancy at these agencies. There we go with that. So in order to get this moving, and so we don't have to wait all the way until August to start this, they have been more than anxious to move forward, so that's the only reason we're doing it this way.
Is this considered professional services? Is that why there's no bidding process on that since it's over $5,000?
It is a professional service.
5,000 is still the limit?
10.
10.
Is it 10?
10.
Well, it's still over the 10
Still over the
limit.
10.
Do we have a motion?
No, we do not.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Salmon, thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Schaefer. Any further discussion?
Who's the contract with?
And, excuse me, Ms. Elaine, we'd like for you to, if you approve this, it's the same approval process, put in your resolution to authorize us to go ahead and execute this agreement with them after we take it all the way through the process.
Who is
The Kimball, excuse me just one moment. It's L.R. Kimball is the name of the company,
K-I-M-B-L-E?
B-A-L-L.
Oh.
Commissioner Sandlin,
put
seconded by
that-
Commissioner Schaefer.
Part of my motion, yes.
That can be part of your motion and part of your second. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Sheriff Arnold, while you're here, we'll take care of your budget amendment from drug control, and Mr. Russell will join us.
Slide in here real quick. Okay, out of the narcotics fund, we're gonna move, let's see, out of the confidential fund, $10,000, and out of the, I think this is,
Instructional training.
instructional training, I had to read the abbreviation there, sorry, 1,500. Repair maintenance of vehicles, we're gonna move 4,860, 500 out of uniforms, and 1,500 out of the 499 account for that budget, and we're gonna roll all that into purchase of a new vehicle for the narcotics unit. That's basically it in a nutshell, real complicated.
This isn't the one that was crashed?
No, sir.
No,
No.
this is just a whole new.
This is a whole new vehicle for narcotics.
Yes, sir.
This it doesn't fully equip it, but you're gonna,
No, this just buys the vehicle. This doesn't, what it's gonna be is narcotics is asked for a pickup truck. So they're getting, that's what they're looking at.
plain Jane deal.
Yeah, plain Jane,
Yeah.
something that they can do undercover work.
There won't be a whole lot of outfitting to that vehicle.
You don't want the lights on top for
Yeah,
undercover.
Yeah.
work.
Not really.
Maybe even a used vehicle.
Yeah, actually, I believe this one is a
I
used
think it's
vehicle.
gonna be a used vehicle, yes.
Motion to approve, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Sandlin,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Jordan. Commissioner P?
Wasn't it last month we just put more money in the uniforms?
Not
This is
yet.
a different fund. This is out of the drug fund. They basically rounded up all the money they left over and kind of.
You have uniforms in the drug fund?
For,
Yeah.
yeah.
Any further discussion relative to the motion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Do you have anything else?
Do we have that, is that under
Do you
what we
want-
talked about today?
Jag.
Do you want to do, you want to do the
If
JAG?
we can do it now.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
He's on
Okay.
yeah, she's got it.
I think we can wing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's another grant that we need authorization. The sheriff's office needs authorization to execute, but of course, the county needs authorization to execute. Every year, heretofore, not every year, but several years heretofore, the city of Murfreesboro and the sheriff's office share in a grant that's overseen by the city of Murfreesboro. And it's a grant that is for equipment, and there is no matching money, and the time is, I think they gotta do this, but June.
They gotta do it, yeah, quick, cause he's
June
got
the
it.
28th, so we gotta get this
tomorrow.
approved. And there will be a memorandum of understanding, just like you've had heretofore, for this between Murfreesboro and Rutherford County to allow this to happen. They don't have the memorandum of understanding in our hands yet. They'll have it by Monday, so we're told, so that it can be properly executed. So It's just a standard form process, and you've done it, I don't know. I know
It's
you-
several years in a row.
several
This
years.
is, it's gonna be the exact same thing as last year and the year before. The city does not have to give us, half of it, but they do. Right now, I believe Chief Chrisman told me that he could give us, like 37% of it, but the city chooses to give us 50% of it. And so it's the same thing we've done in the past.
And no matching funds.
No matching funds.
Well, it does help with you applying also, doesn't it, as far as them getting the grant?
Yeah, well, yeah.
They may not
But
get
I know the
grant
city of
because we not
Smyrna or
applied for it.
Laverne did not get any of this grant money from the federal government this year.
Is this the same grant that, seems like there was another agency that applied and we gave money to out of one of these grants that normally goes to the sheriff's department? It's not this one, I
don't
assume,
think
since it's
so,
just
but,
equipment.
No, this is just split between Murfreesboro and and us.
Do you have the amount? Do you remember the amount?
I think it's 57,000 something off the top of my head.
That will split.
Yeah, well, that'll be our portion.
That's our split.
That's our
Okay.
portion. I've got it wrote down on my calendar in my office, but I don't have it.
But you'll have all that information time we meet.
Yeah, we'll have the exact numbers with you.
This is not the one that was split with Smyrna, Laverne, Murfreesboro, and us, and this year,
No.
the sheriff's
No.
department, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve pending the numbers that come in and also the appropriate officials give them permission to apply.
I'll second.
And seconded by Commissioner Schaefer. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Mr. Sandy, we have a general purpose school fund budget amendment.
One short one.
One short one, yes. After our last meeting.
Yes. This amendment budgets $5,000 donation to the donations account. For Smyrna West Alternative School, they received $5,000 from Read to Succeed, and in order to, we didn't have enough in the line item to do it, to let them buy anything without amending it. So they are spending that for computers in account 71,157.90. And then the amendment also allocates $7,000 to other student support clerical staff, primarily guidance clerks in the schools, from the special ed bus aids account.
So moved.
Commissioner Sandlin, thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Jordan. Any questions or discussion for Mr. Sandvik? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We certainly hate seeing, I say, coach rakes leaving Smyrna High School
Yes.
after a number of years.
A number of years.
52, I believe he's been at the
Wow.
school, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Principal since 70.
37 years, I believe it said.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Mhm.
Good man.
Okay, gentlemen, we have a dead stock removal service agreement with Appertain. And this is a 12-month contract, $33,007.52. Mayor Burgess or Mrs. Nolan, anything else any other details we need to be reminded of?
We don't, that's the one we have to worry about.
Okay.
What about deer? I didn't notice it in the contract here. It says livestock, and, it's got a weight of 75 pounds.
It does say all farm or domesticated animals weighing in excess of 75 pounds.
That's why I'm concerned.
I don't think the previous
I don't believe it
people
did either.
picked up deer.
I don't know
They
if that's
did pick up deer. They got one
I
out
know,
of
I know they picked it up, but I'm not sure the last contract
Pick 'em up all
said
the
that.
time.
I may be incorrect.
I just want to make sure that that's on there.
They've been picking up and we call.
Even recently, Mr. Journey,
Yeah, but it's been about 6 months.
well, okay, so the same people have been doing it. I'll clarify that, but, okay. This is a little less than, I think we've spent $40,000 this year, so it's a little bit of a reduction.
Those were 2 6 months is what we've approved
Yeah.
so far with them?
And we don't have a better solution than to do this yet, so, I mean, this is about our only tool in the toolbox to have these animals picked up.
Well, too, the deer could be easily be in the municipalities, and that's one reason I wanna get that stuck in there too, so.
Wonder why they lowered their bid.
Got a free year, maybe.
Well, they've had a year to see what their
Instead of
costs are, et cetera. They've been iterating with this.
They were going in kinda blind.
Mhm.
The first 6 months was a lot more expensive than the second 6 months, but
Yeah.
they didn't know what it would actually entail and get some numbers together and things like that.
This agreement's really been handled through this South Central Tennessee Development District out of Columbia, that group of counties over there sort of taking the leadership on making this happen.
Well, I like that they've got a time, once their initial call's made on there. That's not something I was looking for. It's pretty good, other than not specifying whether to pick up deer or, wild animals.
They're not local though. They
They're out of it, they're over there in the Giles County, Murray County area, these
Oh,
people
okay,
are.
okay.
Yeah.
Got local food with it.
What's that?
Got local food with it.
Oh, well.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Jordan, seconded by Commissioner Pease.
So we hadn't had any problems. I mean, they've been coming on a timely manner and
I haven't had a
everything, so.
single complaint, and some of you may have heard something.
Okay. No, I haven't. I just
Something, no news is good news.
That's
on that
right,
kind of
that's
thing.
right, that's right.
They've done a good job.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Did that include allowing the mayor to execute that document, Ms. Short? Okay.
Gentlemen, did
Well, I meant,
okay, thank you. Our final review of our 2011-2012 budget. Mrs. Nolan?
Okay, your first page just shows the distribution of the current property tax levy with the new allocation of the penny. The next page then shows the revenue and appropriations. You can see particular attention to the county general fund, estimated revenues at $70,401,075, appropriations at $73,535,831. So our revenues are under our appropriations by $3,134,000, but $950,000 will come from committed or restricted funds. So our estimated change to assigned fund balance would be $2,184,000, leaving us an estimated unassigned fund balance of $13 million, which puts us at this point, a 17.7% of appropriations.
So they're gonna give us a AAA rating?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna be begging for it. I will say that I'm much more at ease about this budget now, and it was brilliant, your move, to put it all out of, regardless of what we do next year.
Goodness gracious. Sorry about that.
That was.
Thought I had that on.
But anyway,
Sorry
of course, you
about
could make that change, but at this point right now, just saying that we're gonna take it out there then reflects, it gives us a good standing going into to me rating agency discussions. So in total, revenue at $428,395,000 for the entire budget. Estimated appropriations, $444,727,000. No, that's just that was my final review.
We don't need to have any motions.
No changes from
There's no
the
changes.
last time we voted.
Not from the last time, exactly. Okay, gentlemen, we are ready for the 2011-2012 tax levy resolution for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2011, and you will see each of the funds listed and the property tax rate of 2.4652, divided out county general 58.4 cents, ambulance service 8.29 cents, highway fund 1.40 cents, and general purpose schools $1.14.3 cents, education capital projects fund 4.51 cents, and debt service 59.62 cents. And Section 2 details how the business tax is distributed between funds. Section 3 deals with the sales tax revenue and how it is divided. Section 4, the wheel tax revenue. Section 5, the development tax revenue. Section 6, interest earned on idle funds. And this is our resolution fixing the tax levy for Rutherford County, Tennessee for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2011.
I'm sorry, this is, hadn't it before been labeled out, you know, under the Public Works part there? It hasn't, for some reason, I was
No,
thinking it was.
Not this
The
one.
first year it did, then we had,
Well, that's when we had a public works
but then we thought we had to put it
Yeah,
over
it was
on
in the
highway.
highway.
So we moved to highway, so it's under
fund. Oh, highway fund.
Which,
all together and we're okay.
Yeah, that is the
All right.
piece in the
All
highway
right.
fund, that is
All
for
right.
that purpose.
Okay.
and it counts towards, it costs their maintenance of effort to go up.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna work on that.
And of course, our tax rate, 2.4652.
Which is exactly the same as last year.
Exactly.
So you need a motion.
Yes, I do.
Motion to approve the tax levy as presented.
Thank you, Commissioner Schaefer.
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner P. Any further discussion on the tax levy resolution? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum,
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan,
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P,
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin,
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer,
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. And now the 2011-2012 appropriation resolution. A resolution making appropriations for the various funds, departments, institutions, offices, and agencies of Rutherford County, Tennessee for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2011, ending June 30, 2012. The general fund total $73,535,831. The Rutherford County Economic Development Fund, $244,510. Solid Waste Sanitation Fund, $3,677,571. Ambulance Service Fund, $10,687,049. Special Purpose Fund, $20,087. Drug Control Fund, $760,712. Highway Fund, $9,329,445. General Purpose School Fund, $266,900,044. Central Cafeteria Fund, $15,696,600. Education Capital Projects Fund, $2,423,064. And Debt Service Fund, $61,452,413. And the following documentation for the appropriations resolution.
I move to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Sandlin.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Jordan. Discussion.
Refresh my memory, the special purpose fund, is that the lake patrol?
No.
No, that's the asset
Asset
forfeiture.
forfeiture,
That's that
okay.
one that
Yeah.
we just
Okay.
did at the,
You
at
just
the
spend
last
the money
meeting.
they collected,
Yeah,
that's all you
okay,
can do in
all
that
right, that's
budget.
that's just, okay.
Mhm.
Only $20,000, but it sounds suspicious on television saying the special purpose fund without, everybody know what it is, and I get confused as to which one's which.
Asset forfeiture, sometimes it's confusing too.
Some folks may think it's the Christmas party.
Christmas party.
But it's not.
I didn't know we had a Christmas party.
No, we don't.
Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum,
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan,
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P,
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin,
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer,
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. Gentlemen, we do have one other consideration under other business, or at least I have one, I think that's all we have. The Insurance Committee brought to purchasing yesterday bids for long-term disability. There was a subcommittee who met and narrowed the proposals down to two finalists, Cigna and Lincoln Financial. The purchasing committee voted yesterday to accept the recommendation of the insurance director and the work of the subcommittee. That will now go to the insurance committee, which meets tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. And the insurance committee will hear presentations from those two finalists. There is a little bit of a dilemma. Normally, the action of the insurance committee would come back to this committee, but there is not enough time because our meeting is Monday morning. So I just wanted to alert you to the fact that this will be presented tomorrow at the insurance committee. If you could come to that meeting and hear those presentations, that would be helpful. If not, you do know it is televised and it will be replayed, and hopefully you can hear those presentations. The insurance committee will make a recommendation tomorrow, and then we will consider that at the full commission on Monday. But it will not be able to go through the committee process. I wanted you to be aware of that.
The two, Cigna
and Lincoln Financial.
that are going to the insurance committee are the two low bidders. So just to
Yes.
let people know.
Yes.
And both of them,
Yes.
as far as our budget, which that's what I'm concerned, both are less than what we are
Oh,
today.
quite a bit less, really.
So you're just asking for the opportunity for the recommendation of the insurance committee to go straight to the full commission. And then all 21 of us can debate at
Yes,
that point in time.
yes.
Correct. I don't have a problem with that.
How come they run us far behind?
We really,
Yeah, it is their normal.
it's their normal meeting
Yeah,
time, but
tomorrow.
it's not the normal meeting time of the commission, so we got a little bit out of step there.
Tomorrow is the regularly scheduled insurance meeting, and if we had been on our regular schedule, it would have time to get back to commission, but see, we're
We haven't
having,
been having that in the past.
But normally we wouldn't meet, the commission would meet in July.
I mean, every year when we.
Yeah,
had
I think
this-
we just kind of fumbled.
This one just, probably just got out of step, not realizing we were gonna do that when it happened.
First time I know that was every year.
but that is just to alert you as why this will not be able to go through the committee process. So this will be presented Monday morning at our Monday meeting. Is there anything else that needs to come before this committee as we finish this budget year?
Elaine needs your signature on this document before you leave.
Gentlemen, thank you for all of your work and the ease with which we were able to do this budget this year, and a special thank you to Mayor Burgess and Mrs. Nolan for all the work to get it to.
Especially Mrs. Nolan and Mrs. Short.
And then Mrs. Short, as always. We do need to sign this, and if you'll take time to sign it, that's the last thing we need to do to be ready for our Monday morning meeting. We are adjourned.